In December 2016, a suicide bomber killed at least 25 people at a Coptic Orthodox church in Egypt. This was one of the deadliest attacks to ever target Coptic Christians, a religious minority accounting for roughly 10% of Egypt's population. Copts and other Christian sects have long faced violence and discrimination in Egypt and other parts of the Middle East, where Islam is the dominant religion. So we wanted to know, what is life like for Christians in the Middle East? Well, as of 2011, there were as many as 16 million Christians living in the Middle East. Christian communities can be found in every Middle Eastern country, but by far the largest are in Egypt, Syria, and Lebanon, which tend to be more tolerant of Christianity than, say, Iran or Saudi Arabia. But these stats are likely outdated already, as the Middle East's Christian population is rapidly declining. This is in part a result of Islamic extremist groups like ISIS and Al-Qaeda, which have for decades directly targeted Christians. Such groups adhere to a strict interpretation of Sharia law that looks down upon non-Sunni people of the book, specifically Christians. Perhaps the best example of this was the Islamic State's invasion of Mosul, an Iraqi city that was once home to tens of thousands of Christians. As ISIS fighters seized the city and surrounding areas in 2014, they cut off the water supply to Christian communities and reportedly tagged Christian homes with N for Nazarene, a slur. Facing a choice between close to unlivable conditions, forced conversions, or death, many Christians fled 50 miles to the Iraqi Kurdish city of Erbil, where they faced discrimination in finding a job and obtaining public services. Just 1 month after their takeover, ISIS announced that Mosul was Christian-free. Also problematic for Middle Eastern Christians was the Arab Spring. Not only did the movement propel many Muslim leaders into power, but it gave rise to anti-government rebel groups, which are known to target Christians. For instance, Syrian Christians who have been persecuted for centuries were actually protected under President Bashar al-Assad and his father, who ruled before him. This is in part because of Assad's adherence to Baathism, which emphasizes Arab nationalism over any particular religion or ethnicity. Although Christians stayed neutral when the anti-Assad revolution sparked in 2011, they were still resented and targeted by rebel forces. In 2015, the EU estimated that more than 700,000 Christians had fled Syria. The experience of Christians in the Middle East varies depending on location and political climate, but one of the best insights into what life is like for the community as a whole may be seen in Egypt. The country is home to millions of Christians, most of whom are members of the Coptic Orthodox Church. Copts face numerous institutional hurdles and are frequently victims of hate crimes. After the Arab Spring brought the Muslim Brotherhood into power in 2011, crowds attacked Coptic businesses, homes, and churches, and incidences of kidnapping, assault, and murder were reported. The violence forced an estimated 100,000 Copts to emigrate. The country was shaken up again when ISIS released a video showing the beheading of 21 Coptic businessmen. Life for Christians is better in some Middle Eastern countries than others. For instance, in Lebanon, Christians account for nearly 40% of the population and play a significant role in politics. Lebanon's president and half of its parliament are all Christians, and nearby Jordan's small Christian population are guaranteed positions in the government and generally live in safe conditions. Targeted violence combined with other factors such as low birth rates and high immigration rates have decimated the proportion of Middle Eastern Christians from 20% in the early 20th century to just 5% today. The rise of ISIS and the Syrian civil war have only exacerbated Christian deaths and outmigration. If marginalization and hate crimes continue, we may one day see Christianity completely vanish from the same region it was born. The Middle East is not the only region where Christians face hostility. Around the world, much of religious persecution is directed at Christians. So where are the worst places for Christians? Find out in our video here. With North Korea a notable exception, 9 out of the top 10 worst countries for Christians are Muslim-majority nations in the Middle East and Africa. In recent years, Christians have all but abandoned those regions as violence and religious extremism continues to grow. Thanks for watching Seeker Daily. Make sure to like and subscribe for new videos from us every day.